Hello everybody, it's your boy Arcada, and before we start off with the Fnaf review, I want to say two things. For one, number one, those last two videos never happened. Forget they existed, like literally. And if you didn't see it, good. Number two is, yes, yay, gaming videos are coming back. Emphasis on the gaming videos, not gaming series. So gaming videos will be back, but series will be dead. I will no longer be bound down by those codes, because the code I offer is something a lot better. So like, upload frequency might take a hit, but you should see a general rise in enthusiasm of me and the content produced and the length of the video. Thank you for listening to the 1 minute update. Now on to the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 4 review. Oh buddy, I'm not looking forward to this. What can I say? He didn't look forward to it. I still ask myself to this day why Fnaf had to be the first horror game I played. But at last, decisions were made and the cookie had to crumble this way. So let's summarize. I'm not gonna act like you shouldn't know, but if you don't know, basically you play as a night guard trying to keep the sexy animatronics out of your room. Huh? You said the sexy animatronics pop up in 2? Oh, my bad. Oh, my eyes. This joint does look busted, I'm not gonna lie. Me being honest, individual may get some hate with some fans, but let's not cap. Number one does look hideous. But good news for the FNAF fans is graphics don't really impact my overall rating of the game. What does though is FNAF's gameplay loop is relatively simple, but relatively simple doesn't equal relatively bad. The game equips you with items practically to defend yourself from animatronics trying to get in your room. You close the door from right to left and check the cameras for the autistic weirdos. That was a joke. And I'm artistic. Laugh. Being a gamer who prides himself on his 12 platinum trophies grants them with unequivocal knowledge about gaming, like simply what's taboo and what makes a game boring and what makes gameplay trash. This secret sauce, only developed by 12 platinum trophies, comes to the conclusion that tediism is the plague of all gaming. I don't even know if that's a word, but the game being tedious. FNAF 1 walks that thin line, being that you're kind of just doing the same thing every night, closing the doors, looking cameras, conserving power, closing doors, look at cameras, conserving powers, closing doors, look at cameras, conserving power. But oddly, it's not really tedious. And I think if you find it tedious, it must be that you're dying a lot. And that kind of just means you suck. Now, narrative-wise, this game doesn't really show cutscenes, as it is kind of just like a small experience type thing. So the most interesting thing that they decide to do is give us nibbles and bits and pieces of what's actually going on behind the scene through Mr. Phone Guy's calls.
Hello. I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact.
Now this is just utterly brilliant, because from that literal 16-second clip of audio, you got the time, where he's been at, and what he's done before you, establishing something not only tutorial-wise in gameplay, but in overall narrative. And it does a beautiful job of shocking the actual player playing the game, because he consistently keeps trying to shoehorn things and make them seem like they're not as bad as they are.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about.
And this is just not one clip audio, but narratively it establishes one important thing subconsciously into our mind. We are obviously working with a shady business, covering up bodies or something. I mean, they had a detailed description of cleaning. Without a doubt, this narratively keeps the player locked in and keeps the player questioning things, which in a horror genre, that is exactly what you want to do. I didn't even mention the fact that that's only night 1 clips. So enough about narrative breakdown. I guess I can give you the whole TLDR of the first game. I might do this with the other ones depending on what they show me or depict, but it might not be as detailed as this first section of narrative right here. This also will not include the theories that people have made about it, nor the canonicity that everyone knows. This is completely inference off of the game and what the game tells us. You are a night guard, tasked to look over animatronics, who can casually stuff you into things and bite off frontal lobes. The phone guy seems to be a precarious liar, insistently alluding that you're fucked, but puts a "just kidding" at the end of it, as if he didn't just say what he just said. And I think he dies on night 4. Anyway, after going through 5 days of trauma, the game ends and you get your $100 check. Yeah. Now, Fnaf from a gameplay perspective doesn't really add much to variety aside from the things you have to deal with. I don't know, someone tell me, but like as the nights go on, I swear to God, my power felt like it was dropping faster and faster.
Okay, why is my percentage lowering so much? This obvious is crazy.
No, this could be because you're using the camera a lot more and your doors a lot more, but just baseline, you sitting in the room, it felt like my percentage was dropping faster than on night 1. That's an aspect of unique, but another thing is also how the animatronics operate and how you defend against them. And number 1, most would probably say I'm going to allude to Foxy or even Freddy because Bonnie and Chica don't really have a distinguishable difference. However, they did in my run. Bonnie was a lot more intermittent, while Chica, when she was at your door, she would just kind of stay there like a zombie, wasting power. In fact, you could probably lose a couple nights just because she didn't leave.
Fuck. Alright. Dawn. Stop. Are you still by my fucking door, dude? You can go anytime now. Damn.
I'm also aware that number 1, it's a dude, just am used to referring to Chica as a she, my bad. But Bonnie, however, I feel like is the default animatronic. He moves, he sways, he's the most active on the first couple of nights. Then there's Foxy, which I did get bodied by because, well, you know, he freaking runs. He's the only animatronic with burners. Don't ask me, I don't freaking know. But he's also the first animatronic that used the Staller mechanic on. Then you got Freddy, who is just a borderline cheater. He doesn't give a damn. I don't know what the hell it was. I did not fight him once he got off that goddamn stage. They said, look in dark areas, you'll be able to see him. My guy, like everything damn near looked like an animatronic in the dark. But then I figured out that, yeah, he also has a Staller mechanic. So pretty much you have to look at him from time to time, or most of the time in the later half of the game, occasionally and accurately go to Pirate's Cove and then back up to his stage. Just make sure that bastard does not leave the damn stage, because that is the last time you will ever see him in illuminated light. He doesn't even appear outside your door. He just sneaks in that hoe and murders you. Bro really said, this isn't Fnaf, this is Assassin's Creed. And although these are very good mechanics on their own, there is a polarizing bad thing about Fnaf and its design philosophy. And this wouldn't really be much of a review if I didn't bring it up. And the problem is that you actually actively checking on the cameras is discouraged. Not only is it a lot of the time you're just wasting power checking on useless camera areas that you don't need to check on, but almost every single animatronic converges at the same area, outside your doors. This makes the game plan really easy. I can either check 4 cameras or I can narrow it down to 2. And since there's not really any other way for them to get in my room but through my doors, I know where they're going to be at. So all you really have to do realistically is check Pirate Cove to keep Foxy in there and go to the main stage to keep Freddy there. Thus making the whole concept of, hey, follow the animatronics to see where they're at kind of pointless and just a gimmick. But if I would have to say anything, this is a beautiful introduction to Fnaf. I liked it.
This game looks beautifuler, if that's even a word. That is a severe understatement. Stretch that hoe. Thank you. Now, without further ado,
Fnaf 2, Fnaf 2, Fnaf 2, Fnaf 2. There's not really much to say about it, except for, God dang it, these damn, robots had any other features. It's over. Call me a pervert, but them exoskeletons is looking W graphic upgrade. Yeah. This game works a lot like FNAF 1 in the same premise that you're trying to keep yourself alive. The different premise is that these animatronics will be in your office, because I am 99% sure that they spend all their available money on the animatronic upgrades, which left the store without doors. But I'll tell you what defensive measure they didn't jip you out on: a old animatronic head mask from part 1 and a flashlight with AA batteries. They also did the right thing, and rather than relying on a backup generator for freaking power, they actually got us a home with a state model home, so I can now use all the power I want.
If you're not getting it, basically we have infinite power.
The cost of another thing though, they can't just design easier to deal with animatronics. They gave us a music box that we have to round with. So we still have the camera too, but now we have to press a button on the camera, which is cool. If it didn't just play one song, like give me a Christmas playlist or Spotify. Aside from that, hallways in this game, or anything dark in nature, are like dark abyssal voids that don't have any glimmers of light. Which is probably why they gave you the flashlight and infinite power, but still. Gameplay is pretty like the last game, you know? Just defend yourself with those items I just mentioned. Yeah! Needless to say, the restaurant was a bust, because through the call audios, we find out exactly that we left the old restaurant to rot away for a couple years before building a new one. The cause for this decision is multifaceted. However, the audios do allude that maybe some crime was taking place.
Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old locations, you know. Some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while.
This is further exacerbated with the fact that they spent a small fortune to actually upgrade the animatronics with criminal data background and further enhance mobility. After that, the phone calls sort of kind of get spacious and don't really give us anything to really nibble on, aside from like the origins of the old withered animatronics and the mangle. Night 4 is when it seems like things start to hit back up again, and we learn that actually a crime has been convicted, making Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria go under investigation.
Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing.
And the day after didn't seem to be any better, because the game alludes that the day shift person might have died, or did something in particular that would cause him to not be doing that shift anymore.
Especially concerning any previous employees. When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available.
Night 6 is actually one of the most frightening nights, being that your phone guy is calling you, questioning you, what are you doing there, and how you're not actually supposed to be there on that shift, and that the place is actually shut down. The pure just concern in this man's voice is what really sold it. Honestly, W.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right.
Yeah. Before any FNAF fan people hate on me, I do have to say that this FNAF game is one of the weakest when it comes to variety. This variety doesn't really show up in FNAF's game mechanics. You're kind of given everything you need to fiddle with, and you just have to play within bounds. But when it comes to this game, I've played all of them. This one definitely is lackluster when it comes to variety. The first problem is the fact that pretty much almost every animatronic does the same thing, aside from the Marionette and Balloon Boy. There is literally little to no differentiating factor when it comes to withered animatronics or toy animatronics. They both operate similar enough to the point where it's kind of like it's a Fortnite skin. You can swap out Wither Bonnie with literally any other animatronic and it just does the same thing. I will give it credit though, this game is a lot more pressure heavy. Now whether or not this does have to do with the bulk of animatronics that's actually residing within the building is up to debate, but what's not up for debate is pretty much the same way you play on night 1, you can get away with it through the other 6 nights. There's not really a gimmick change or anything, you just have to tweak your timing. Overall, I do like the pressure heavy mechanic and I do like the way the animatronics look. This kind of switch up to gameplay from 1 to 2 is a nice switch up to see in a sense. However, it is very disappointing that it did cost the gimmick and the creativity of how other animatronics operate. Legma. FNAF 3, which I will be completely honest with you, I don't know if it's agreed upon, but this has got to be one of the easiest ones. It's also, in my most recent memories, one of the most easiest ones to forget. Yeah.
Last night we died again, but this time I'm about to be having said, fuck that bitch, I wanna be the black president, the second one.
So this time it's the No Doors 2.0, except really your danger is inflicted by the company with little fault of your own, actually. In the past 2 games where there were Roman animatronics, because it was just a part of the job description, they had some lingerance of a defense mechanism to keep you safe if you were just cognizant and diligent. But for this one, they don't. Now, let me not be facetious or anything. They do give you a audio that allows you to lure potential threats to separate rooms. However, we are not just going to pretend like they didn't give us 380p cameras. My boy, they fucked you. All right, bro. You ain't seeing nothing in that, bro. And did I mention that, like, that's not the only thing that can literally murk you on this job? Yeah, somehow they managed to fuck up ventilation. So you can actually suffocate. Oh no, let's spend thousands of dollars on this goddamn freaking tablet so I can hit a button to fix the ventilation rather than just having a freaking mechanical guy go out here and fix it. TLDR, use audio cues to lure the animatronic away and don't let him get near your office or he will kill you. Look out for the occasional audio and video errors and deal with it accordingly by hitting the corresponding buttons. If you hear loud ass thumps, fear not, just look for the fat ass animatronic in the vent, which is ironic because this vent could literally support thousands of pounds of killer ass but fails to guide a measly gust of wind to my lungs so I do not faint and lose consciousness.
Father, do you know what you climbing through the vents reminds me of?
What, Michael?
Among Us.
This concludes the gameplay portion of this video. Every story has a humble beginning, and it's no different from this one. Brand new company owners heard about the drastic tales of Five Nights at Freddy's franchise and decided to try to make a calculated business venture on it. However, this is very miscalculated and very put together. They do say you can't rush greatness. Come now, give it a listen.
It's over the weekend, and we're out tracking down a new lead right now. So, let me just update you real quick, then you can get to work. Like, the attraction opens in like a week, so we have to make sure everything works and nothing catches on fire.
One thing I will say is that I did appreciate that this one took a call from an outsider's perspective. However, I am a bit disappointed that there wasn't more of this. After night 2, there was a significant drop off of this guy, and we were just getting old reruns of tapes referring to the animatronic suits and one other function. And while hearing about this one other function was interesting and how dangerous it could be, it severely lacks punch, because at this point now you're just getting direct answers. There's a little mini game depicting that Springtrap is the purple guy, which I wouldn't have an issue with if there wasn't 4 consecutive phone night calls just playing rerun tapes that one guy found. And this one guy never talks in the game again after that night, which is like, okay, that was pretty much the only interesting perspective at the time. And we really could have got some investigation type, I think we dug too deep, man, I'm gonna stop type beat. But I will give it grace because I think I heard this somewhere, y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but supposedly Fnaf 3 was when it was supposed to end. So that sort of explains kind of the let's wrap it up mentality around the whole thing. I still personally don't like it, but it's whatever. If one listens to this portion of the review, they would call me a negative Nancy, and I would completely understand why they would do so, because ain't nothing but good about it, huh? But just like that one guy that sung that song, that's just how I feel. I'm trying to convey why this stuff is trash. And no, I don't personally think it's trash. It's more of, I'm just comparing it to itself. And the previous installments did better. I will say this game did do things better than the previous ones though. Specifically 2, in the sense that variety, sure there's only one animatronic, but you'd have 4 different functioning wither animatronics that all attack you in different ways. And also add on to the fact that that one animatronic has multiple ways of getting in your room. From either your alarm going off and him just beelining it straight to you down the hallways, to him getting himself lodged in a vent, or him just somehow sneaking past you. And while this review has been mostly negative on number 3, narrative wise, I would like to say that the glazing isn't done yet, because this game unironically solves the problem that I had with 1. Turning on your cameras and looking through your cameras being a detriment. It's not a detriment. In fact, you need to do it to keep track of him and to guide him to where you need him to go. Now, there still are the sweet spots that you want to guide him to genuinely, but at last, you know, it still is awesome that you have to follow him through the cameras. Even my genuine opinion on the game, it's a meh. From what you've been eating, you've been eating gourmet. This is the McDonald's of this bunch. Fnaf 4 reminds me of the end. Just like everything, a franchise always has to come to an end until it gets its occasional reboot or it just sits in the back of the bench collecting dust being forgot about. I honestly want to say if anyone has made it this far into the video, thank you. And it's been an actual blast making this. So, won't you subscribe and turn on that notification? Thank you. If I were to have to sum up FNAF's 4 gameplay in one word, it would be appreciation. Not only does it go back to the original OG formula of things, but it makes it all the more real by just focusing on FNAF's strong points and hunkering down more into the horror goodness. So the first mechanic this game teaches you is actually about a hearing mechanic. Because in this game, you don't use your eyes to keep the animatronics away. There is no keeping track of them either. There are no cameras. There's only a flashlight and your perception. The flashlight is merely used to see down the hallway to see or prevent animatronics from coming in closer. However, the caveat is if the animatronics are already close enough, you flash the light, you die. How do you prevent this, you may ask? Well, you must listen for their breathing, which is crazy, right? I never thought animatronics had breath either, let alone lungs, I guess. Once breathing is heard, you must shut the door and wait until they walk away. And these are pretty much the door mechanics for FNAF 4, for the right and the left. The closet and your bed work a little bit differently. The bed houses Freddy, which I don't know if he's like under it or is he like, I don't know what he's doing. But he has little freaking Freddy puppets that pop up on the bed. 3, and if they just chill on your bed long enough looking at the back of your scalp, he then has priority to just kill you. That always like made me wonder and think, it's like, why does he need 3 of them things to pop up? Do they work as summoning? Is he not there and if 3 of them pop up there, then they summon Freddy there to kill you? Or whatever. This concludes the gameplay portion of this video. Now, I will say that the narrative proponents of this game actually pissed me the hell off. Not because it's bad or anything. It pisses me off because everyone in the gosh darn story is a fucking douchebag. Like, no one in the whole city of Alabaster is kind or caring. They're all just picking on this little boy talking about, oh, you're scared of animatronics and oh my god. One of the little pricks said, oh, I'm going to a party this evening. You're coming, right? All right, it's your party. You have to go. Like, bro, what? I'm traumatized, bro. And you over here talking about I gotta go to my own party. Do my parents not know I do not like these things, schmuck? Do my parents not know nothing? What's up with them locking me in my room with the damn Freddy party? Like, bro, this is not a birthday. It's like, I just struggle to understand how people can find a little boy crying and crawling him into a ball genuinely amusing. Now with my grabs out the way, I guess I can give you the whole rundown. Basically, FNAF takes place in a perspective of a little boy, and the mini games reflect his trauma and what people did to him. Near the ending of the story, we find out he got crushed by one of the animatronics and he's actually in the hospital. So this is how he perceives them. The nightmares aren't actually how the animatronics are built. They're just a result of my boy dreaming up some good cocoa powder. Overall, I'd say I like this story format a lot more because you could actually pay attention, right? It's a nice change from the medicinal phone calls every night and every game. Still has the connection to the original canonicity, but it's from a different point of view and a perspective, which me likey. Now, variety can be a lot of things. It can be the switch up of a certain animatronic, the switch up of gameplay, from even just the way you fight or handle things in the story. This game is no stranger to having some variety. I already explained within the first part of the video where you have Freddy who has a 3 puppet gimmick. And recently I found out that Foxy isn't just the person that spawns in the closet and that's not his home. Turns out he starts out in the hallway. I've never seen him in one of my playthroughs, and if he gets to your door, he runs and blitzes your closet, which is cool. But then you also have one more, the 2 animatronics go right and left in the room. Their default, they're kind of like hallway patrollers type beat. But if anyone thought the variety was over, you surely mistaken. After you get to a certain night, I forget which, you get a brand new animatronic named Nightmare. He does some mechanics that's not really taught to you in the game. We all know the breathing technique. when you're listening by the door. His different mechanic though is he's the only one that actually laughs, and it's your job as the player to figure out what the hell that means. Don't worry though, I got you. After a lot of death, I figured out when he giggled, that is simply mating call. Noboshka, you're about to get fucked. I don't know though, that just means he's in your room. He's either in your closet or behind you readying his metal animatronic 12-inch pedal rifle, cause what the hell are you doing alone with this child? Hey yo, PTG, you mind playing my tune?
Okay.
That's more like it. Don't I just like sun and just a little bit more bright? Enough of this friggin' death talk, you know? About biting kids' faces off and dying. I like this a lot better. But can't stay here forever. So I guess I should tell you my rating criteria, huh? I use a 3-3-3 point system. These 3 points are divided between 3 respective categories, being gaming, narrative storytelling, and variety. Each section of point can only get 3, and these 3 represent a rating between bad, mediocre, and great. And we take the sum of the categories and combine it into a rating out of 10. If one is quick-witted, you would realize that a 3-3-3 rating metric doesn't exactly equal up to 10, and that's because I'm the one that can add or deduct the point away, depending on personal experience. Because nothing is more important than a player's experience. Now, this is relatively easy to do for one game, but we're doing 4 in one video, so what we gotta do is a little tricky here. No, it's not. So basically, we'll set up a 40-point metric. 40 points representing 10 points by each FNAF game. So if 2 of the FNAF games get 10s out of 10s and the other 2 get 0 out of 0, that would average a 20 out of 40, equaling a 5 out of 10. Now that we're done with that, let's get on to the reviewing part of it. PTG, go ahead and switch that V for me. Did you guys like the editing thing? Where I was just zooming it. It looked like a little old YouTube 2002 type edit thing someone would do. Genuinely beautiful. But people, if you have made it to this point of the video, I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing me speak. And if you're not, I love you too. But honestly, I think it's time that we wrap things up here. The video's running on 30 minutes. So, what does Ikata rate FNAF out of 10? 8. FNAF is a solid 8 out of 10, and let me tell you something. This is for like the console port too. I didn't mention the finicky things about console port because genuinely the console port only starts getting a bit iffy around FNAF 3, and it didn't really impact my gameplay too much. It was an overall good experience, I'd say, and also I do take into account how long it takes to get said story, to get said gameplay, and how long it genuinely wants you to be there to enjoy its full product. And the time it takes to just play a FNAF game, night 1 through 5, genuinely isn't that long. So that's why the rating is so high up there. If this were to span over the course of, like, say, a 10-hour campaign or something else, then the rating might be a little different than it is. But for a short sit-down intermediate play session, it's beautiful. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope to do more on the channel, and I also hope to just make more bigger kind of projects type thing. So, if you will, please like, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification, and comment something spiffy. It's been your boy Ikata. and genuinely, I appreciate you guys waiting. If any of you show up and see this video, thank you. I don't know why I made that sound weird, but I hope you stay tuned. I haven't gone anywhere. We're still here, and I'm still going to be doing gaming content from here and there. Oh yeah, I am going to start streaming on my Twitch, so if you guys want more of me, of just playing casual games or playing games and then seeing the process of how I make videos, feel free to follow that. Also, follow my Twitter. Thank you. It's been your boy Arcada, and Arcada is out.
ETG Production.